Hey there, so today we have another review and this is a fun one. If you guys want to skip ahead to the review, just skip ahead, but I have a few words to say. So this is from Great Divide and some of you might be shocked and it's like, oh wow, that beer. And if you don't know about it, I'm gonna go through the story. So Great Divide is out of Colorado. They are out of Denver. And this is a fun one. So Yeti is their Imperial Stout. They don't say Denver? Anyway, they're in Colorado, I think they're in Denver. Anyway, so this was a very important beer when I got into beer, geez, let's say like 2012. Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, somewhere around there. So, and Yeti was a pretty popular beer. First off, beer used to come in this size, 22-ounce bombers. Now it's not popular at all. It's all 16-ounce cans, but everything was in bombers back then. IPAs, brown ales, black IPAs, Imperial Stouts, all kinds of things, everything came in bombers, like anything like quote-unquote specialty. And it was just all kinds of beers. And Yeti was a series of beers. Now they have like 6 packs of their Imperial Stout, but they had like all these variants of this Imperial Stout. So this is Oatmeal Yeti, but they had like oak-aged Yeti, which was like oak-chipped Yeti. They had a coffee one, all kinds of stuff, tons of variants. And so I was recently at the store. I live in the middle of nowhere anyway, but this bottle was a single one, wasn't even dusty. And I was like, oh wow, it's been forever since I've seen that beer. I'm pretty sure this beer is discontinued. July 24th, get this one, 2015. This bottle is 6 years old. That's absolutely crazy. It was just sitting there. It wasn't even dusty. I think they take good care of their stuff. They dust their bottles and everything, but it's just been sitting there. Maybe it's been sitting in a box. Who knows? It hasn't been sitting on in a box or something, because like I feel the last time I was there, I would have noticed if there's a bottle of Oatmeal Yeti just sitting on the shelf. Who knows? So cool to find this vintage. Is like $10, which is normal retail price. So you have to check this one out. I even went on my BeerAdvocate to check out the review that I wrote, and that was from 2013. It's the first time I had this beer. Probably the only time I had this beer was 2013. I can't remember that I revisited this beer. So 8 years ago. I'll actually post my review that I wrote on BeerAdvocate in the comments, or in the description. But really exciting. So this is their Imperial Stout, and it's oatmeal, obviously. So more luscious mouthfeel. That was the goal with that. And then with that, they're adding raisins to this one too. So very, very dark beer pouring out of the glass, or out of the bottle. Very dark beer in the glass. I don't have a perfectly clean glass right now. But anyway, very dark head. I mean, this honestly looks a little bit like 1050, something like that. Like super, super dark, yeah. Looks pretty viscous too. Yeah, nice viscosity. Looks pretty thick and chewy. Let's get the nose on the wall. Certainly some oxidation on this one, but the good way, right? The old school Imperial Stout thing. So it's got that little bit of soy umami. It's got that like old hops in this. Imperial Stout sort of work out in the light hoppy beers, and the pale beers doesn't work out. There is a staleness though, so. But yeah, it's like dark fruit. It's got a lot of roast to it. It's got a little bit of this kind of like tobacco-y, dried, leafy thing, right? Like the oxidations come in. The soy umami thing is also pretty prevalent. A lot of chocolate. Smells tasty. So, 9.5. This beer is big, at least on the palate. Certainly this is to a point where it's not big, luscious like it used to be. It's gotten to a point where it's more just like roasty and boozy. Yeah, so this might be like past its peak for aging. Yeah, maybe, I'd say so. The lusciousness that the beer could have, I feel is like sort of lacking. It really comes off more like roasty up front. Got that like dried, bitter, leafy thing I was talking about. So like Asian Imperial Stout kind of character. Not much mid-palate to speak of. Rounded with a good amount of warmth, a little bit nice pop of opening your palate with alcohol. Lingering bitterness, char, roast. And then you get that nice soy umami thing up front. It's a really nice sipper, yeah. Really nice. I mean, again, for a 6-year-old Asian Imperial Stout, that's what we're gonna get. We're getting all these like different flavor characteristics out of it. I will say that I probably would have liked it a little bit fresher, or reasonably fresher. I imagine this beer probably like does pretty well, year, 2 years. 6 years is a long time, guys. It's a long time. I can't remember the last time I had a beer age that long. Especially for non-barrel aged beer, but it's Imperial Stout, so this is right up the alley of something that you can and should be, or can age, and if you want to, you can age it, and necessarily whether you should is up to you. But again, I recommend always drink fresh. If you have excess, age it, try it out. What a nice flashback though. But yeah, it's mostly just this kind of like dry, bitter herbal thing, very licoricey, soy sauce umami thing, bitter, chocolatey. It's the hops have faded to like, there's none of that sharp bitterness coming in through anymore. It's pretty smooth in that sense, but you still get a little bit of that kind of woodsy character because this beer is generally just quite hoppy. Like freshest beer is very hoppy. That bitterness is really much tamed down. And then for 9.5, you have a very good mouthfeel. Not as luscious as I feel like it could have been back then. And then it's got a nice kind of boost character to it. So it shows itself at 9.5, even higher. I mean, I would have guessed maybe this beer was like 10, 5, 11, but very tasty. And then like, just if you're looking for it, there's like maybe a hint of this raisin sweetness. There is some raisin here. There's a little bit of like dark fruit. There's a little bit of sweetness here along with all those bitter flavors. And it's so weird because like I mentioned that the beer is not as bitter as it could be when it's hoppy fresh, but still the bitterness is there, right? It's still charry, it's still licoricey, it's still the bitterness of the roast is still there, and the bitterness of the hops is just, still floating around on that palate. Very nice, fun note, char, oaky, smoky. It's got all those fun flavors in there too. So that's just a delicious sipper. Very nice. Let's go with a solid 96. Solid 96, light ding on that one. Where's my bell? Things get moved around. Oh, sort of anyway. Light ding. That is Oatmeal Yeti. Oh, I'll give it for you guys. There you go. Light little ding. Until next time, guys. Cheers. You guys out there, if you have memories about this beer or any of the Yetis, post in comments below. Bombers of Imperial Stout back in the day. That's a fun one to revisit. And until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.